Hi and welcome back. Plastic Models by a Regular Dude. Just wanted to give a quick update. Somebody had asked how this project was coming along, and figured I'd do a quick video. Construction is done and the basic painting is done. I have obviously weathering, stuff like that to do, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to spray a clear coat on the entire model, and do the decals. Once I get the decals on and they can cure up for a day or so, then I'll give it another quick clear coat, and then I can start working on the weathering. I did, as far as the paint goes, I did a little bit of modulation using the same one I used on the last kit, the Ammo by MIG Jimenez modulation set. Comes with the 4 olive drab colors. Use that again and see how it turns out in the end. It looks good, and I kind of like the modulation colors, but I don't know if I'm completely sold on the absolute need for a modulation set. It works out good, and it gives you some subtle variations in the shade of the colors, but I'm not sure if just doing a black base and then spraying an olive drab or whatever your base color is, spraying that in varying opacities, you might be able to accomplish the same thing. I don't know. I'm still working with it, and I like it. I'm just not completely sold that it's completely necessary. I'll experiment off and on with different things, but I like the paints. They spray really well right out of the bottle, so that's a good thing. They have the little ball bearings in it to aid in mixing the colors, which is nice. But anyway, so painting's done. The tracks, I've got the tracks completed and installed. I had to remove 2 links from each track to get it to this tension, and as you can see, it's not real super tight. So if I'd have left them the regular length, it'd have been just like bowed out and baggy looking. I don't understand why they are that long, but it was easy enough, and being the DS tracks, they glued it together really nicely with Tamiya extra thin. And so they turned out. So they're all painted. Got some rust applied. It looks pretty stark right now between the black and the rust color, but that's just to give it. That's just the base. Once that's what I do on all my tracks, and once I get the clear coats on and this decals and so forth, then I can start weathering, and it'll tone that harshness way down, and it'll look quite a bit better. So anyway, that was just a quick update. Thoughts on the Dragon kit so far. The construction is pretty straightforward, but it does take planning, and if you're not careful, you can really blow it, which I almost did with the installation of the gun. I put the front plate on before I mounted the gun, and that was almost a mistake. It took a lot of finagling to get it to pop down in there and fit correctly, because of the way it mounts inside with these two mounts here, and then there's a plate on the front of the gun mount itself that has to slide down in front of this mounting point, bulkhead, or whatever you want to call it. So it was pretty tricky, but I was able to get it in the end, and it all came out okay. But if I had to do over again, I would have put the gun in first and then this, but it was in the sequence of painting, I didn't really think it through, so I almost blew it with that one. But other than that, it's gone together fine. A couple of weird numbering issues, but in general, I'll go off the letter on the sprue tree, and then I just eyeball the part and if the number, you know, the number's there, I'll double check it. But you know, I go more off of part shapes than anything. I'm sure on some kits that might not work as well, but you know, so far so good. So anyway, the kit's painted. I'm gonna throw some clear coats on it, and then I can start the weathering. So until next time, I'll talk about, you know, the weathering in one of my next videos. But until next time, thanks for watching Plastic Models by a Regular Dude, and I will catch you all next time.